So, I'm literally dying. Like, I mean, anyone that's kicked heroin, kicked Suboxone, kicked methadone, any synthetic opioid knows you feel like you're dying. And I was kicking benzos and I had started hallucinating. I mean, I had boofed pieces of God knows what, thinking that it would get me high. I was probably boofing rat shit, and then I like boofed some like, I don't know, pieces of like sharp plastic that ripped my butthole open. So there's that. There's also the fact that I had like snorted some like weird crank in my like hallucinatory, I'm also coming from like this wave of psychosis. So who knows what's real and what's not. And not having a phone during this time was really, really fucking with my head. Before that, Karina and I were talking every day, you know, and then, well, the Bush guys, they got me. And now I'm in this front central because I'm like I'm like, I can't go to PC, like I don't, I'll get killed in prison because I knew I was going to the feds too. I didn't know then that by the time I got to state, they were mixing PC and GP anyway, and I would ultimately have to make that decision anyway later, and it didn't matter. That's how brainwashed you are. Like, that's how stupid you are. There's literally, like, I've met guys on the street, skinheads, and they're like, yeah, having a bad day, fool. Yeah, what happened? Mark? Yeah? Shared a cup of coffee with a black guy. Fuck. Like, so? You don't know what that means? No? Me either. Hail Hitler. Like, oh, okay, cool. And that's like the white nationalist programming of prison. And it really, if you trace it all back to, I read a lot of Eddie Bunker, and if you haven't read him, I highly suggest you read a guy named Edward Bunker. He played Mr. Blue in Reservoir Dogs. And that was like Quentin Tarantino's favorite crime writer growing up. He wrote these badass crime fiction novels. No Beast So Fierce is the shit. Animal Factory. My boy Mark Boone Jr. was in that. Edward Furlong was in it. It's about Mickey Rourke plays a tranny. Bomb. It's about prison, but and he was like really close with Danny Trejo. They did time together, and like what he had said is essentially it had started with the Muslims and the skinheads going out in the 60s, and then the Aryan Brotherhood formed, and the Black Hand Mexican Mafia formed, and then the Black Guerrilla family formed. So there were these like super entities of races, and it became this racial divide that's been perpetuated by the police, straight up, the old divide and conquer thing. So a lot of this conditioning, in my opinion, like well, can't share a cup with the black guy. Well, why? Well, because they're black. Spell black. BLCF. Duh. And it targets people that are disproportionately illiterate. It has people, they have no idea what they're talking about. You go, hey, like, okay, swastika. I get it. I get that there's solidarity to your race. And I understand that does not necessarily mean that you hate other races. I mean, we go back to you don't see the skinheads, tanning in Malibu with the swastikas. And if you do, it's pretty rare. They might be like working security for some mansion, and like they like sneak off with cucumber slices and get a quick tan, when they're on their lunch break or something. But you really don't see it too often. And it's meant to symbolize that you're have like a firm commitment to your race. It's about pride. I hear a lot of listen, I've had a ton of amazing skinhead friends throughout my life. I'm not the kind of guy where I'm like, you're a Democrat. Fuck you, punk. You're a Republican. You're a bitch, homeboy. I'm not like that. You know, I don't really care. I don't even care about politics. It's all the same bullshit anyway. You know, um, I've never like been like, oh well, you're Muslim. I'm cool. You know, I'm not like that. Oh, you're gay. Gross. You know, it's whatever. You know, the one, if you're a child molester, yeah, I'm going to judge you on that. Yeah. If you're a snitch, yeah, I judge you. Just let's be honest. You know, you put somebody else in jail. That's bullshit, you know, but just based on race alone and sexual orientation, religion, who gives a fuck, really? You know, that says more about you than it says about your ignorant beliefs. You know, it's like if you don't like someone just because they're a different color, you're unhappy. You never find happy racist people. You know, it's like, damn. I mean, I just got this equity sharing. I own this island. So, oh man, 3 o'clock. I got a Brazilian orgy time. And I'm just gonna go have an orgy with all these bitches. Oh what? Oh, we gotta go to a hate rally. Oh, hey, 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 Bobby. Hey, I can't make the orgy, man. No, I gotta go to a rally. Oh yeah, yeah, KKK shit. Don't trip. I'll be back next time, Bobby. You know, you don't see shit like that because happy people aren't like that. I mean, they're not. And I'm not saying that money is like a measure of success, but what I'm trying to say is people that are truly happy with themselves are generally um, kind to other people, you know, and you can be very rich and unkind to people. That doesn't mean that success to me is happiness, no matter what that means. You know, certain people, it takes money to be that way. But you know, you ask some of these guys, what does the swastika mean? And they're like, hatred, homeboy. Hatred. What does hatred mean? I'm just going to go ahead and say that you're being disrespectful, dog. This conversation's over. You know, and you find a lot of that in prison. So, and the reason that I'm going off on this tangent about this is because of this. I had been conditioned with prison politics from a young age because I went in there at 23. I had always been conditioned to think a certain way about race, about everything. When I got out, that went away and I no longer felt that way. But, and still to this day, if I go to prison tomorrow, I'm going to be down for my race. It has nothing to do with other races. It is what it is. You know, you can't be like, peace, brother, Black Lives Matter. You go to prison if you're white and be like, oh, town hall, radio. Hey, gather everyone up in the day room. Yo, Black Lives Matter. What do you think's gonna happen? Yeah, good job, Snake. All right, fist, but yeah, right. You're gonna get fucking sweet. You're gonna get your head stomped open like a watermelon. So while I'm in this state of sickness, my pride was not allowing me to PC up. Is what that choice was made for me. But I was like, nope. I'm not gonna talk to my pregnant girlfriend and be there for her. Well, why not? Oh, dude, I'm loyal to the bush dwellers that just jumped me when I was giving them free drugs and commissary because that's how I was programmed at the time. So I'm in there, and remember, you can't shit. There's just this metallic like urinal thing that I've been shitting on. There's horseflies. Remember, they were like, you know, and they like had come to me. I'm hallucinating. At this point, I'm seeing the walls bleed. And it's bleeding like this weird, I don't even know, like a Slimer green color, just like bubbling out of the wall. And I know that I'm like, hallucinations. So what? You know, it was like kind of like, what else are you going to do? And, you know, at that point, I had no idea what was going on because I'm not able to talk to Korean every day. My dad had come visit me and he basically told me what it was. He's like, look, you only have one option. You have to sign for 3 years. You have to change your plea to guilty. Then we're going to try to get the feds to come and get you because the state will agree to run it concurrent. But that doesn't matter if I don't get into federal custody. So that was like a really big obstacle. Now, not having access to the phone was a big deal because I didn't even know what was going on. So instead, I'm just sitting there suffering. And I really, like, every time a cop would come by, I'd be like, sir, I aged like 40 years in like a week. You know, I had like all these wrinkles. I was like sunburned, even though I hadn't been in the sun. I'm like, sir, I just want a phone call. He's like, go to PC, bitch. I'm like, I'm not doing it. And he's like, okay, can't help you. If you're not willing to help yourself, Leone, when are you going to wake up? When are you going to realize that all this bullshit is just bullshit? Huh? You have a son on the way now. What's really being solid? I'm like, I ain't no piece of shit. I'm not going to be with no chomos. And again, I mean, I have to say, okay, well, I'm not going to program with chummas, but you have kids in your house and you can get on the sex registry website and you can see that your neighbor, okay, you got an issue with, like, it's cool for them to live on your block, but you can't be in the same fucking housing unit with them in jail. It's certainly not how I thought those. Oh, no. It's like skinheads that think that you drink behind a fucking, black guy's coffee mug and poof, you have an afro or something. It's ignorant thought process, And so one day a cop comes up to me and remember, I'm losing track of time. I don't know how much time is going by because there's no measure. There's no point of reference. There's no sun, it's just mounds of shit with horseflies, me curled up, lots of time shitting myself because exerting enough energy to get up to shit in a urinal that's not even designed to shit into was like way too much effort. So I would just shit, and then I'd shit and my asshole would be all like raw and it would have a rash on it. And what I would do, like, I'd have my, how you can put your shirt over you and like it's like in your knees, how little kids do that. And I would just take my shitty pants off. So I'd be pantless with my shirt on over my knees. And I just tip over. My my rashed asshole would be like up in the air. The cops would be like, hey, Leon, hey, man. No, we're not doing that. We got another school coming by. What are they going to think? I'm like, maybe they won't do drugs. I don't know. What do you expect me to do, bro? What are you going to give me a canvas? You want me to start like, painting on like an easel or something? Like, I don't understand what am I supposed to do? I don't even have a phone, man. He's like, well, that's your fault, Leon. You could be having spreads with child molesters right now. I'm like, dude, I'm just like there. So time went by. Finally, I had decided, and I don't know if I didn't watch the last video, but at a certain point, they brought me back to court. And I think I did talk about this in the last video, and I signed my rights back over for being able to defend myself. Now I was going to be defended by a public pretender, as they said. And her name was Mindy Boulay. Nice enough lady. She came up to me and I was like, and I'm dope sick. And the first thing I'm like, Google me. And she's like, what? I was like, Google me. And she's like, you smell really bad. I'm like, Google me. Google me. She's like, okay. You have a Facebook. No. Huffington Post. Oh, yeah. That's like the 13th article. Oh, okay. You were in that. Okay. So anyway, let's talk about the case. So this is what they're offering. The DA says that if you sign the deal, if you change your plea to guilty, they will put on paper that they will honor a concurrent sentence. Concurrent means that they put the Fed violation and the state sentence into one thing. Problem was that I was going to have to sign for 3 years in state prisons. 3 years in state prison means half time. Translates to roughly 18 months. Actually less than that now, because when you go to state prison, there's incentives where you can get time off. Like if you tell on good dudes that you played t-ball with. You're like, yeah, dude, Larry, fool hasn't paid taxes in like 7 months. Fucking bitch, arrest that fool. Okay, cool, I get a month off. Dope. I'm just gonna do pull-ups until I get out. No, you can take your GED. You can now, if in the state system, if you're under a 3 yard and you're in these mixed fucked up integrated yards where you have PC people and your GP people together, you guys are doing like choreographed talent shows. Like, I'm a piece of shit. I'm not, but now I'm a piece of shit because I'm with that piece of shit. And they're like, dancing, and it's just some really weird shit. But anyway, if you program, without incident, you don't fire off on someone when you get on the main line, they'll knock off 33% once you hit mainline. So, ultimately I did 16 months, and that's why I hit the main line at Sentinel. I went to the 1 yard. They took off a couple months off of that. But at that point, I didn't know what was going to go on. I had no idea. All I'm hearing is 3 years with half, 18 months. So in my mind, that's what I'm doing. But, if the feds don't play ball, if they don't come get me, there's no insurance that that's going to happen. I have no I don't have no access to the phone. I have no clue what's going on with that. It was like an indeterminate sentence. Like I just didn't know what was going on. And in my mind, I've been telling Karina, now we're writing. I finally got like a letter. It was like all crinkled and there was like cum stains. And I was like, fuck, dude, what is this? And they're like, oh, dude, I don't know that. I don't know. I think she doused in perfume, dude. It smells pretty fucking good. I think it's, I'm like, what? You're smelling give me my shit, man. Open it. And Karina was like, look, she's like, you need to just sign, you know? And, this whole time I'm like, the documentary is going to come out and I'm going to be a drug icon. Everybody's going to be like, that guy's a drug addict. Let's give him money. Some silly delusion shit. She's like, look, man, this is the thing. Let's be in reality. I have a child inside of me. It's your child. That child is not going to know you if you keep playing these games. They are going to break you off. You're going to get 7 years. That's in the state side of it. That's not even the feds, all the Josh and Bart, the guys that I had been pissing off for like months. What are they going to do to me? I already knew that the feds were pissed off. So by the time I get to that court, I'm fucked. So like any way I looked at it, I was fucked. And I wanted to go to trial. I thought that by that one time when they gave me a dry run, I'd been there, I'm in the dungeon, and they didn't call me, that I'm good. No, they didn't care. They do what they want. And I think we're right now, you can watch TV and you can see all throughout the country, you're seeing shit. You're seeing like cops just like push elderly men and fucking blast off on teenage skater kids and push women down and call them stupid bitches. It's out of control, and I mean, as a criminal, you deal with that all the time. But if you're not a criminal, just think about how terrifying it is that you're nobody safe. These people are fucking out of control. And it's even worse in the microcosm of the prison system. But with that being said, ultimately I decided to change my plea. I changed my plea to guilty. 3 years. State told me that they were going to run it concurrent, with my federal sentence. Assuming I got a federal sentence. Now the name of the game was to get me down there. And that happened within like a couple, probably same week. I went to court twice. Every time I went to court, I was like in shackles, and I'd run into Riddler one time and called him a bitch and shit in court. And I didn't have visits because I would say fuck the police, and I didn't have commissary, I didn't have a phone. My life sucked, and I was hallucinating. And one day, after I'd changed my plea, so I had no idea what was going on. I had no phone, no idea. One day, a cop comes up to me, he's like, "Leon, hey, Leon, or is it Leone?" It's Leone. What's up? He's like, "I got good news for you, man." I was like, "Am I getting transferred down to federal custody?" He's like, "No, but it's the next best thing." I was like, oh, dude, you're moving me to ISO so I can have a phone? You're close. I'm not moving you to ISO per se. I'm moving you to a cell where you can watch people use the phone. How does that sound? How's that sound? Do you see me right now? I'm fucking pantless. There is a mound of shit in that metallic urinal. There's puddles of vomit all around me. But yes, I would like to be able to be in a cell where I can watch people use the phone. He's like, excellent. I thought you'd like it. All right, cuff up. I was like, can I get like a actual bed now? He's like, well, come on. Rome wasn't built in one day, Leon. I'm like, it's Leone. I was like, whatever. So he takes me to this cell. So now actually, any convict knows this. So, yes, I cannot pick up the phone, but what I could do was tell the convict that I'm looking. I had no idea who it was going to be. I could tell that guy to call my chick and relay messages. And, convicts would be like, I would never give some random fool like my girl's number. Oh, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? Sweet talk her? Like, what's like a hardened convict going to tell Karina? I am so hardcore. I tase myself every morning when I wake up just to prove that I'm not a bitch to my fucking friends. Yeah. Karina would be like, oh my God, that's so sexy. Let's get an apartment. It's just not going to happen. So anyway, okay, so this is what happened. So they moved me to this cell, and there is some guy. I don't even know. I forget what is his name. It's Paul something. Weird ass dude. Paul. God, it was a while ago. Paul. I don't know. It's Paul something. And I see him, and he's like, I'm like, I'm at this point. I have pants on, but honest to God, they're smeared in shit. And it's like a different color than the shit that I was shitting. So I'm kind of confused as if it's mine or not. I mean, it happens all the time. Everyone knows that. In county jail, especially in systems, which are most, where, you have to give your linen in at a certain point of the week, and then they give you new ones, in theory. At Santa Barbara County Jail, it's called the weenie walk. You have to walk down this hallway. Everyone's naked. And, and everyone's like, it's like it's like one of the only chance you get to see people that aren't in your unit, but you're all butt naked at the same time. You're like, yo, Tommy, what up, dog? All right. Oh, I just signed for 3 with half. Oh, stay down, dog. And we're like, nay, it's some weirdo shit. I don't know. Jail's not cool. Stay in school. But a lot of times when you get your linen, it has skid marks on it. Fucking disgusting. I mean, it's gross enough dealing with your own shit, but like another person's shit is out of control. Like, let's just be honest. I mean, it's bad, to this day. And like, I'm not saying I get skid marks, because I don't, unless I'm on withdrawal mode. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. Sometimes I get them when I'm kicking, but when I'm sober, which I am now, I don't get them. But what I do to this day, just as a testament to my institutionalization, is I shower every time with my boxers on, and I scrub them, I wring them out, like put them like on the shower curtain with like my socks, and I scrub those too. And Corinne's just like, what are you? Some weirdo shit. I don't know. It's one of those like I'm used to doing it. It's institutionalized. I don't know. So this guy, Paul, was it Paul Doobie? Paul Doob or something? I don't even remember. But anyway, this guy, Paul, I'm like, hey man, what's up, man? I'm Ryan. I'm mustering all my energy to talk to him. He's like, hey, I'm Paul. I'm like, hey, Paul, and we have to yell to talk to each other, so it sounds even more ridiculous when we're yelling. Like, hey, man, what you busted for? Oh, I tried to kill my wife again. Again? I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. My whole theory about, well, I'll just give him my chick's phone number. Fuck it. So, I'd like to say that I'm so gangster. I'm like, you know what? Hey, call my baby mama for me. She's cool. No, I was like, oh, fuck this fool. So I just like, I curled up in my little ball that I was used to being in, and I tried to get some sleep, and it's fragmentary sleep, and Paul would be, and he'd say the most outlandish shit. Once in a while I'd be like, yo, have you ever tried to kill someone? I'm like, what if I say that I haven't? Well, then you're a bitch. All right, Paul. Cherish these talks, bro. Yeah, me too. Good night, dog. Night, man. And you run into people like this. This is not like a joke. Like you in jail and prisons, especially when you're in the bowels of these systems and in special housing unit, when you're in the hole, you're in isolation. That's where, that's the weirdest motherfuckers in these institutions are. These are where they're at. I don't even know where I'm at this point. It's like, I think I'm living in like a supply closet that like at one point they like emptied out to like house like an inmate. Oh, there was no toilet in there. Anytime I had to use the restroom, I had to tell, like I had to, hey, can I go on a potty run? Not now, Ryan, not now. Jeez, it's all about you, isn't it? I'm like, dude, I've been holding it for fucking 8 hours, man. I'm kicking. What do you, wow. So, this is the kind of hell that I was going through. So finally, Paul they move him, and there's this other guy, and he's like this big black guy, and he's like a nice black guy. He's like, hey, what up, white boy? What it do right there? Hey, what they talking about doing to you? And I'm just like, I got caught pimping. He's like, my man. All right. You got any soups? I'm like, no, I got coffee cake though. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot that. So I'm giving him all my shit because I'm kicking. I can't eat everything. I mean, everything tastes disgusting. Anyway, coffee cake's like the Cadillac of food that I can get. This guy started talking to him, and he basically tells me this sob story about how he's like just had this baby, and he has this like little baby that like is gonna get taken from him. And I'm like, in my psycho. I'm like, brother, I will get you your child adopted. Yeah, I don't know if you know, but I'm an icon, and icons have connections like that. I mean, come on, I can find some surrogate family. Oh yeah, and that will be real fucking smooth of you. I'm like, all right, cool. So anyway, I get a nice enough rapport with this guy. I get him to call Karina, and like he was, I don't know. Of course, giving a random guy Karina's. I mean, she'd gone and met Midget Man and his fucked up brother at some point. So I mean, this is just phone stuff. But this kind of thing where I'd be like, "Hey, tell her I love her," and he'd be like, "Oh, he said he fucking loves you." He'd always put his own spin on it, make it like more soulish. Or, oh, he said he wants to dip naked into a swimming pond with you. Well, what the fuck is a swimming pond? He's like, oh, hold on, I'm in my groove. Oh, he wants to know what you're wearing. I'm like, hey, babe, I didn't say that. I gotta go. Oh, hey, Leone, the phone cut out. I don't know. And I was like, oh, fuck, all right. Checks out, weirdo. But, her and I would start talking this way, and I'd just be like, relaying information to this guy. And one night, I don't know what happened, but remember I told you about that like crescendo ringing in the ear? It just got like, ah! And I was like, oh, and I like looked, and that green, the slime color green, not only was pouring. If you ever seen The Shining, where like the blood like splashes up on the elevator, that's what the hallway looked like. It was like, and there was like all these like paper cups, like paper or styrofoam cups floating in this like slime, and it was like, ah! And I don't know. It was maybe it was like the peak of my kick because it was a synthetic opioid, or maybe it was the benzos. Well, for whatever reason, I started tripping out and I started screaming, and I was like, you need to call Karina, call Karina. And I go, well, just chill out, white boy, just chill out, Leon, come on. And I'm like, call her. I'm like, help me. And he's on the phone. He's like, she's asking, what is she supposed to do? I'm like, call 911. That seems to be your go-to, Leon. And now shut the fuck up. I'm dying. And I don't know what was happening, but I was like going through some sort of like very painful, again, akin to like, tantamount to like a spiritual experience almost, because the pain was just that fucking severe. And, I screamed and screamed and screamed and screamed. This went on for hours, and eventually they cut the phone off so he can't call her. But I'd asked Karina how she felt that night, and she said that she felt so bad for me because she knew she couldn't do anything for me. She knew that I was like legitimately experiencing that kind of pain. Not really, and like I said, I don't really know what was pulling me in that painful direction, whether it was the benzos, whether it was the Suboxone, but it was something. And somehow, I made it through the night, and I got this tattoo. I'll get to that later. My friend Angel did that. This little pick and poke. It says Nico Gatsby, and it's like in the like how you would pray. And it's it's not very good, but that's not why I get tattoos. There's a quote: "You can't trust a man with perfect tattoos." And I have some, I have good work and I have shitty work, and I just have a mix of both, and it just tells a story about who I am, and that's, I don't know, I like it. It's like not all about aesthetic. I think it's more about, it's almost like a scrapbook to symbolize different periods of your life and like what you were thinking at that time, so you can like remember what was going on. And I remember this one in particular. I got that because there were those times of just like, and I've talked about this, there was like times of like very, very intense, like white pain, it's like a white light pain. It's the only way I can describe it. And I would just think about going home to them, and it got me through. It was like a lot of people talk about like, there's no atheist in a foxhole. Like that was my spiritual grab. I would think about them, and I would just like keep like, closing my eyes, and that's really just what got me through, because the pain was so excruciatingly bad. And this is on top of having broken ribs. Don't forget that. And my parents, had written me letters and said that, they had, called the, my dad would like, my dad was always really good about write me like every day. And then like on one birthday one year, this is way before this, but he put together like thousands of letters, because he had them all saved on his computer, and he bound them and put it in a book for me so I could read it in chronological order. It's kind of cool. It kind of told the story. Maybe someday I'll publish those. It's pretty intimate, but you know, so he continued that tradition while I was in jail this time, and he had sent me a letter, and he's like, well, I got good news today. I talked to the Santa Barbara County Jail, and they said that they took x-rays and you're fine. No broken bones. He thought I was a hypochondriac. I'm like, okay, first of all, they never took me to get x-rays. They're lying about that, which is awful. And when I was screaming that night, and the black dude was calling Karina, she called the jail over and over again trying to get me help, and they blocked her. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that shows what kind of people they are. And right around this time, I'm sitting there, and remember I told you I had this rash, and I go and I'm like touching my butthole, and something just hurts. It's not a hemorrhoid, it's something worse. And I'm like, oh, and I like, it feels almost like a zit, and I squeeze it, and all this pus like, trails out of it, like some like, it looks like, I know this sounds like really disgusting. I don't know why I'm using this as an example, but it almost looked like an icicle of cum, but it was pus coming out of my butthole. Fucking gross, right? I mean, I don't know, weird mind. But I looked at it, I'm like, oh my God, there was like all this like weird, like waxy pus going down my hand. I knew that I had staph infection right in my ass crack too. It was probably just from shit, like so much diarrhea and like not being able to get up because of my broken ribs. And so I had to tell, I'm like, hey man, I think I have MRSA in my asshole. Cop's like, oh my God. Anything else, crybaby? I'm just like, fuck. So they had to bring me into this, medical office, and the nurse coincidentally had read my book. Imagine how that made me feel in my psychosis. She's like, I read your book, or I listened to your book on Audible. What inspires you? I'm like, staph infections in my asshole in county jail. Duh. And she had to bend me over this table, and she had to cut my asshole like a lancet and stuff cotton balls. And it was one of the most pain. Imagine bending over. You have some girl, God knows how bad my asshole smelled at that time too. That's like wiping with so much energy that I just had this raw fucking rash. That's why I had staph infection in the first place. So I'm bent over this table, and she's like sticking gauze in me, talking to me about Audible. Well, is Blair a real person? I'm just like, fuck, I hate my life, dude. I fucking hate my life. I fucking hate my life. And we will get into what happens in the next third prison term video. Yes, I've been really busy lately. And that's why they've been shorter. And I'm sorry about that. I really, it like matters to me, and I don't want to like let people down content-wise, because I know a lot of people wait on videos. But this week's clearing up for me. We got all the signed books, blotter, all that shit. We have everything now. So any issues in the past, anything, check out Joe in the pinned comments, and please like, and also you can order signed books, blotter, all that now. E-commerce site I've been working on forever. It'll be up soon. And check out the Narcan Project.com. Sign up for free Narcan, and to enter the raffle. Sinister and I see the paintings. We're going to be raffling off $15,000 worth of paintings, signed books, blotter, cans, etc. And check out patreon.com/Rhinelander. Thank you guys so much. Continue to stay safe. It is a fucking mad world out there, and I appreciate every single one of you guys. Palabra.